Hey guys, I've invited you back in my bathroom because I'm going to do yet another pee video. I am going to talk about how to pee using touch technique. I've gotten a lot of questions from people on how I pee using that technique. It's not a unique thing to me. Most women who are paralyzed, especially paraplegics, use touch technique when they cath. It is just the way that we learn to do intermittent catheterization and the thing that gives us the most independence. And really, once I explain it to you, the anatomy down there is pretty limited in terms of space. So once you learn where things are going, it's not really that difficult. I did explain some of this in various videos, but this is its own video in case somebody's actually searching how do I pee using touch technique, so that it will be easy for them to find. And then I'm going to show you a product that you can get for free right now if you cannot use touch technique and you need a mirror. So stay tuned for that. I will let you know how you can get a hold of this free mirror that you can strap to your leg. I pee in my wheelchair, so if this is the first video you're ever watching with me, I pee in my wheelchair. I don't get out of my wheelchair because it is just too difficult for me, or time consuming, I should say. It's not difficult, it's time consuming to get in and out of my chair onto the toilet, take my pants down, blah, 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 blah. So I've always learned to pee in my wheelchair since I learned to cath. I spent 5 years not knowing how to cath at all, so I was really intimidated. And then once I learned how to cath, I realized that cathing on a toilet was just not going to be for me because I really struggled with getting my clothes up and down when I first learned. So this is just the technique I've always used, and thank you to Margaret, my friend, who's been on here many times, for teaching it to me. First, I'll talk about like the anatomy of your vulva. It's not a vagina because vagina is just a hole, but your vulva in general. So if you're learning how to cath with touch technique, I'll explain the anatomy of it, how I do it using touch technique, and then I'll show you what I use to cath and sort of how I do it. The thing that you need to understand for using touch technique is basically the geography of your anatomy down there. And there's your labia, which are like the outside lips that sort of protect everything. And then on the inside, you have a clitoris at the top, which is like, I always say it's north of the border. The border is what we're looking for, which is your pee hole, and north of the border is a clitoris. And then south of the border is your vagina, which is a really big hole. So your urethra is tiny. Your clitoris is like a wrinkly thing. Depending on the person, it can be bigger or smaller, but it's sort of a wrinkly sort of piece of skin. And then below your urethra is a big gaping hole, and that's not the one you want. So when I am cathing with touch technique, I spread my labia, and I do this even though I'm wearing underwear, and I have this zipper in the crotch of my pants, which I'll show you. I open the zipper, I spread my labia, I pull my underwear aside and spread my labia at the same time because I always wear underwear because I always wear an incontinence pad. So I spread my labia, move my underwear at the same time with my fingers, my first one and my ring finger, and then I'm feeling with my middle finger where my pee hole is essentially. And then I have this, which is a male urinal that I keep in a little bag and carry everywhere with me. And I always have this sort of ready when I'm going pee, but I'll do it really quickly for you right now. I was not preparing enough. This has a little tab on it. I use a Coloplast Speedy Cath because I love that little tab. So I hold it like this. I'm holding it against, there's a little white part, this white part. I'm holding it against the mouth of this male urinal. I'm spreading my labia with these two fingers, my first one and my ring finger, feeling where my pee hole is with my middle finger, and then I am guiding this thing with my first finger in the direction it needs to go. So it's pointing in towards my urethra, and I'm sort of feeling, I kind of know when this is going to go in. So I start sideways and I slide it till it catches something, And then once it's in that little hole, just sort of sitting there, usually my urethra, sometimes it's not, I feel underneath with this finger, I feel underneath the catheter, and if there's a little bulge of skin underneath, then I'm in the right hole, because there should be a tiny, tiny little bit of skin between your pee hole and your vagina. And if you feel if you don't feel that tiny little bulge, like if you feel the catheter and underneath is like a wet, slippery, mushy, like, you know, hole, you're in your vagina, and that's not where you're supposed to be. So that's basically it. It's not really that complicated. I spread my labia with these two fingers. I feel with my middle finger where my pee hole is. I use this other hand to guide the catheter in, and then I feel once I slide the catheter, usually left to right, right to left, but I usually slide it sideways. Sometimes I slide it a little bit down. But I start north or east or west. I never start south, because that's a big hole and you don't want to start there. So when you spread it, you start north or east or west. And then I slide it once I feel it catch, and then I feel underneath once the tip is in. If there's a little tiny bit of skin, I know I'm in the right hole, and then I push the catheter the rest of the way in. So that's really it. When I'm done, I put the catheter back in the bag, and then I get rid of it. The pants that the zipper that I get in my pants is a 9-inch zipper, and it's literally just in the seam of the pants. This one is a hidden zipper, so you can't even really see it, but you can see that there is a little tab of a zipper right here. But inside, it is literally just along the crotch. That's it. So I get this at a seamstress. I take it to any seamstress. I ask for a 9-inch zipper in the crotch. They've never looked at me weird. They just do it, and I pick it up, and it's good to go. It does make pants a little bit more expensive, which is annoying, but that's just sort of what I do. If you cannot seem to wrap your head around using touch technique, then you can use this little mirror. I'm going to show you the position I get into cath so that you can see what I do. I put one leg up on a toilet or a surface. If there's no surface, I just scooch my butt. If there's nothing to put my feet up, I just scooch my butt to the end of the seat, like in my car or something. But if there is, it makes it much easier because my legs flop open. So I move my butt forward. I put 2 legs up, and then my legs fall open like this, and I have the zipper right here. And then again, I'm opening this zipper, taking my underwear, spreading it to the side with this finger, and holding my labia open with this finger. My ring finger, spreading it open, holding it open with my other finger, my index finger, and then I'm feeling for my pee hole with my middle finger. If you can't seem to wrap your head around doing that, this mirror right now, if you are in Canada, because it's from Collabs Canada, is available for free. I'll put the link in the description of this video, and it took me a while to like actually get the angle of this, but it just has a little strap that wraps around. It's attached to my leg now, and this mirror goes all different directions. And so you just kind of have to like play around with it. It is a like magnifying mirror, so there I can see sort of what I'm doing now. And then I can unzip and do everything I need to do whilst seeing. This is very small. It doesn't seem like it would take up a lot of room. It just folds, and there is a carrying case with it. And then when you're done, you can just put it back in the carrying case. It could probably even just like fit. This is the bag that I keep my catheters in. You could probably just like stick it in there with the rest of the catheters and stuff, and that is your mirror that you keep with you. So if you would like to use this technique and you cannot seem to be able to get the touch technique down, or you just don't want to, you think it's messy, I'm not jamming around with the catheter anymore. I used to do that. I used to sort of like fish around until I got it, and that's probably why I got lots of bladder infections. But I don't do that anymore. I'm really efficient at getting it in the right hole. But if you can't, then you can get this for free right now. If you are not Canadian and you would like one of these mirrors, because unfortunately this giveaway is just for Canadian residents because it is a Collabs Canada promotion, I am willing to send the 2 that I have to you if you are not Canadian, and I will pay for the shipping. So just put in the comments, not Canadian, and you can be entered into the draw that I am doing for the 2 mirrors that I have. I will draw 2 names and send them to you wherever you are in the world if you would like one of these mirrors. So yeah, that's touch technique. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. It took a lot of practice, and believe it or not, your muscles just learn what to do. Like, I really had to think about how I do it. I really had to think about it because my muscles just go to work. Like, I barely even think about how I cath anymore. I just do it so many times. And it's possible for, I think, anybody to do that as long as they have good hand dexterity and feeling in their hands. The person who taught me this is my friend Margaret, and she doesn't have either. These are the things that I use to go pee: a male urinal, which I always carry in a little case, a Coloplast SpeedyCath catheter, this little case that I carry my catheters in, and the zipper in my crotch, and then touch technique. So this is sort of a lot of the same information as my other video, but I just thought it would be good to update it with the information on how to use touch technique because I didn't include that in my other video and a lot of people were curious. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you back here on another video. Bye guys!